Hello, loves. Yay! I'm here. I'm trying a new setup today because I usually always sit on my bed to do these, but I wanted to sit on a chair and try something different. I wanted the flowers in there. How's it going, loves? Welcome to this amazing, fun live about how to utilize astrology to claim your motherfucking power. Let me know if you can hear me okay. No one is on yet, so I trust that you guys can hear me. I'll actually log in. I'm on my phone. I will log in from my computer to make sure. And if you're listening to the replay, let me know in the comments below where you are tuning in from and what you're grateful for today. Let's see. Is my volume on? I'm just checking in on my laptop. Bear with me for a second. If you can hear me okay. I haven't done this kind of live before where it does it like in the event page, so I just want to make sure that I'm doing it right. Okay, loves. I feel weird because I'm like halfway cut off, but I really wanted these flowers in here. It felt important. Maybe somebody needed to see some beautiful flowers today. I'm feeling guided. Let's just like take a deep breath in. Come into this present moment. And release and let it go. You can do it audibly like that if you want to. I love to do it that way because I feel like it just is another level of release. Let's do it 2 more times. Take a deep breath in. And let it go and just like shake anything out if you need to. Shake it out. 1 more deep breath in. Let it go. Shake it out. Do whatever you need to do. Okay. I wear this hat just because I feel like it makes my outfit. I've been wearing it for years. Somebody the other day was like, you can take your hat off if you want. I'm like, I know. Anyway, welcome to this beautiful live, my loves. This is actually like a great setup. My dress is looking a little bit weird, but that's okay. I like this because I feel comfortable. So I wanted to do this live for you because astrology has been one of the tools that I have used. Oh God, I'm about to knock over a candle. That has helped me through the most challenging years of my life. Those being 2020 to 2022. And some of last year. Hang on 1 second. Let me know in the comments below if you can relate that like the last couple of years, I mean, it's 2024 now, but just let me know if you had some rough fucking times, some going through some death phases ever since quarantine and COVID. I feel like that was just like a worldwide awakening for so many of us. But astrology was one of the tools, like I said, that I used. Whoops. I have my notes next to me. So if you see me looking right there, that's what I'm doing. It was one of the tools that I used to help me navigate through the hardest years of my life. And it helped me through the darkest years of my life to transform into having the best year I had in my life in a decade last year. And this year is like even better than last year. So I don't even know how you want to verbalize that, but I just did. So yeah. I found this quote the other day. Hang on, I have to move the phone to read it all. So she's an alchemist. Everything sent to destroy her only made her more radiant and powerful. I'm going to read that again. She is an alchemist. Everything sent to destroy her only made her more radiant and powerful. Let me know below if that quote really resonates with you and connects with you. And by the way, get comfortable. Grab yourself some tea, a candle, crystals. I have all that here. Whatever you need to do. I'm actually going to leave the video like this, even though it's cutting half of me off. I can see my notes now fully, whereas my phone was covering it up before. So I saw that quote on some Instagram page the other day. Earth Spirit Botanica is the name of it. I think it might be a crystal store in like New Zealand or somewhere. But this is what I have really learned the last 3 years of my life, is that the shit that we go through that's hard is not meant to harm us. It's not meant to take us out, like this quote says. It's meant to make us more powerful. Like, if you haven't seen me talk about my story, I've talked many times in many places about how I went from making 6 figures the world to now I'm in my 30s and I'm temporarily, so slow connection. Oh, okay, we're back. Okay, yeah, so I went from having all of this financial freedom, living all over the world, being in my 20s to being in my mid-30s, living temporarily in my hometown at my family's house. And I was like so fucking mad at God for so long until I finally started to realize all the beautiful blessings and lessons that all of this that's happened to me has created for me. And that's like a whole other story for a whole other day. But my life has literally transformed so fucking much. And I am so much more powerful, like that quote says, so much stronger. And I also really realized like I was attaching a big part of my power and my worth to worldly things, like how much money I made or different things like that. I feel like I want to go off on a tangent and talk more about that, but I'm going to leave that for my membership. I'm thinking Rise from the Ashes. But essentially, astrology has been one of the things that has helped me through these hard times. And I'll talk more specifics in a minute. Well, actually, I have it on my notes next. We basically can make a choice to utilize what we're being shown through the different astrological events, through our emotions, through our triggers, through the shit that's coming up. I'll chat more about that in a second. You can choose to stay the same and stay stuck and continue staying frustrated, or you can choose to use these emotions and the triggers and the feelings that are coming up through the full moons, the new moons, Mercury retrograde, which I'm going to talk about today, and things like that, to actually give you guidance on what you need to shift and change to move forward, to your rebirth, to claim your power, to up level, to transform, whatever you want to call it. So let's talk specifically about Mercury retrograde, because Mercury shadow just ended yesterday. Mercury retrograde itself, I feel like it ended like 3 weeks ago, but the shadow period can sometimes be the most challenging part. I know I've had some other lessons that have come up for me that have just been like, okay, I really needed to get that one. I really needed to get that one. And then we also had the super new moon in Taurus last week. And then there was all these solar flares over the weekend. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some of my takeaways during, it's going to be basically like a review of Mercury retrograde and the super moon and what guidance I got from it and how I was able to shift. And then you can apply that to areas of your life that it resonates with, or just use it as like a tool to help you look at what's going on so that you can shift. So Mercury retrograde specifically I wanted to talk about because Mercury retrograde gets such a bad rap, or bad rep. I think it's bad rep, probably because reputation, rep. Anyways, Mercury retrograde, if you don't know what it is, essentially happens, I think 3 or 4 times a year. I'm not an astrologist, but I've been studying astrology for several years now. I don't always know the specifics of the dates right off the top of my head, but I know how to tell you what it is. And of course, always do research on your own. But Mercury retrograde happens for 3 weeks. I think it's 3 times a year. And it's basically, Mercury is the planet of communication. So it is showing us anywhere we're going back to revisit old lessons of where we need to improve around communication and different things like that. That's like the biggest theme of Mercury retrograde. And a lot of times we like bitch and moan and complain, and not that we shouldn't, because we should release our emotions. But so many people are like, oh, it's Mercury retrograde again. And like, I do that too. But really, actually, the last one, I really was like, no. I'm choosing this Mercury retrograde. I'm choosing it to be peaceful. And it's not always peaceful, but I'm choosing to feel peaceful about it, regardless of what it brings up to me. And that's kind of like a golden nugget in itself. Is anything that you're going through, whether how challenging it is, no matter how challenging, I cannot talk. I feel like I'm still in Mercury retrograde. What I was trying to say is that whatever you're going through, no matter how challenging it is, you can choose to stay as peaceful as possible, because obviously you can't be peaceful in every moment. We, of course, want to honor our emotions. But side note. So Mercury retrograde, for me, this last one was super profound and powerful. Like, I literally up-leveled in my life and my business in so many ways, got clarity. I'll say that in a second, actually. I was able to create two of my new signature programs, one during this one that just ended and one last year. I think it was September, October timeframe. that was when I released Divine Feminine Rebirth. I got all the downloads, and then right after it was done, that was when I was guided to release it. And kind of similar to this one, Rise from the Ashes, started getting the downloads a little bit before Mercury retrograde, and then was working on it behind the scenes, and now June 1st is the time that it's launching. Mercury retrograde every single time for me too always reminds me to slow down and take care of myself. And that for me, that's not necessarily specific to communication, but retrograde, the planet is going backwards. And like I said earlier, we're going to revisit past lessons and themes where we need to tweak and make adjustments in our life so that we can improve our life, transform, up level, all the things we're talking about. So one big thing for me that came up again during this past Mercury retrograde was boundaries. I feel like I'm constantly working on new layers of being good with my boundaries, with other people, with myself, with social media, with my phone, communications again. I also was really able to stop giving my power away to certain connections, relationships, mentors, and taking people off a pedestal. So those are things, like, if you look at that, those are all ways where I was literally able to claim my power and choose to rebirth into a new version, because I'm like, no, fuck this shit. I'm not gonna like have shit boundaries and drain myself anymore. I'm not going to put these people on a pedestal because I'm just as powerful as they are. And the other thing with like slowing down in my business and my programs was, I'm like the person, I'm a Leo and I have so much fire in my birth chart. I'm like, yes, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. I like to rush, but I have learned in 12 years of business now that it's not always the best to rush to put things out there. And I actually tried to with Rise from the Ashes as soon as it turned spring equinox. And then God was like, girl, gotta slow down. Can't just launch it this week. Like, need some more time. So I forgot where I was going with that. That was like a tangent, but those are obviously areas where it has helped me to go to my next level. Oh, because what I was saying, the point I was trying to make is like with business, it helped me up level because I realized, okay, slow down, stretch it out, don't rush, make it your art, make it beautiful. Everything doesn't have to happen overnight. So those are some of my lessons, and maybe you can relate to those. Let me know below what happened for you, if any of those resonates with you. And like I said, we can use these things that are coming up for us to claim our power, to rebirth into our new version by looking at what is coming up, the emotions, the triggers, whatever it is, and then choosing to alchemize them, to shift them, to use it all for our good, because these emotions that come up aren't always pretty. It's essentially doing shadow work, especially when we're going through some of these, like we had a moon in Scorpio recently. I think it was a full moon in Scorpio. I did a post about it. Like, that was like a big moon for shadow work. But this is where like the most powerful shifts happen, is when we're willing to look at this motherfucking shit. Like, this is all the stuff I talked about in Divine Feminine Rebirth. Oh, I didn't put notes on here specifically about the supermoon last week, but I did want to talk about it. I think the main thing for me last week was kind of just another layer of slowing down, like I said, self-care, taking care of myself. I'm really distracted right now because Terminex, if you guys know what that is, I don't know if every state has that. It's like the pest control. They come and like spray the outside of your house, and he's like cleaning my window. And I'm paying attention because I feel like when weird things like this happen, it's like a significant message. Yeah, clearing out, that's the message. So we can use this shit that is coming up. I'll go back to the super new moon in a minute. Use the shit that is coming up also to get clear on what we can let go of. That's essentially what I was talking about, is like I realized I had to let go of people pleasing and set better boundaries. So yeah, Terminex guy is like, clean that shit out, girl. Clean it out, clean it up. So back to the super new moon, another layer for me of slowing down, doing more self-care, not being so like hyper and on all the time, because I tend to be like that. I'm a generator too in human design. And it also allowed me the super new moon in Taurus, because Taurus is an earth sign. It's all about being grounded. It's ruled by Venus, which is all about like self-care. This is very Venus Taurus energy for me to like have these flowers in this candle. And I was even going to just stay in my sweaty workout clothes, but I felt guided to feel cute. So anyways, it really just helped me to pour into myself, my self-care, and have more structure in my life was where I was going with that. Structure is something, since I'm a free spirit, I don't love it. But one of the biggest things with like feminine energy is we have to also be balanced with the masculine energy too, which is the structure. So I was able to implement structure in so many areas of my life to now where I just feel so much more calm, so much more grounded, not all over the place, and so much more clear. So that is some of what Mercury retrograde and the super new moon helped me with. Of course, like I said, I would love to know below how it went for you. And if you need help with any of these things I talked about, definitely reach out and ask. I would recommend the best way to do this, if you haven't done this before, this process of like looking at the emotions, the triggers, what is coming up. I mean, I've just been doing this for so many fucking years now. I just like process it in my head a lot, but I do journal a lot too. So journal, take out a journal, and you can reflect on like what has been coming up lately. Are there certain themes that are coming up over and over and over? Like that's another thing for me during Mercury retrograde, is it was like one situation I realized I was still people pleasing in with a friendship. I wanted to be there for this person, but I just didn't have the capacity to. I've had so much going on in my life recently, and I've been very busy and haven't had a lot of time for myself, which is why I've been balancing that back out. But I think there was a couple people before that I realized I needed to set boundaries with, and she was one of them, where I was like, oh, but I still want to be there for her, but I'm just so tired. I just don't have the energy to do that and everything else I need to do in my life. And I kept kind of like avoiding it, and then a situation happened where like I had to say something. So things will keep coming up like that are like a theme, especially if you're avoiding them, like I said. So think about that. Take out your journal, look at what emotions are coming up, what triggers are coming up, are there any themes that are coming up, and then start journaling about like, what is this trying to tell me? How can I shift this? Like, what is this asking me to shift? And I think that's a great place to start. So if you want to dive more into that, then like if you want to dive more into all of these things, then Rise from the Ashes membership is officially coming on June 1st. I've had to change the date a couple of times because I kept like feeling like I needed to refine certain things. But everything is ready and magical and powerful. Let me take a sip of this real quick. And a sip of my water. Excuse me. And I'm just so excited to put this out there, this membership. So this membership basically is for you if you want to do all the things that I've been talking about. Step into your feminine power, claim your motherfucking power, rebirth your new version, get through the death and the voids and all of like the things before the rebirth where it's like, what the fuck is happening? And alchemize all the shit that you have been through, are going through, into your good. I'm also going to be doing the astrology for each month. We'll have a theme for each month. We'll do rituals together. We'll do dance together. And I just really have strongly felt like for a long time in my heart that I really want to launch a membership, because we are not meant to go at this alone. This thing called life, rebirthing, spiritual awakening, all of the things, all of the above. And I was listening to this sermon the other day from my old church. I can't go there in person because I don't live in that state anymore. But the pastor was saying that it will take 10 times longer to get out of whatever shit you're going through, whatever struggle you're going through. She didn't say shit, that's my language. If you do it alone. And I will have to say I 100% agree with that, because I've had phases in my life where I go at it alone. But I've just been through so many struggles the last few years. Debilitating anxiety, depression, being fucking lost in my business, having to heal so much childhood trauma and do so much shadow work since being back in my hometown after leaving Hawaii. So much self-worth work, self-love work, inner child work, reparenting myself, so many things. And for a big part of that, I was isolated and alone and didn't have the support. And that's when I was depressed. And what got me out of that depression was having the right support. Now, I joined a yoga studio. I had a mentor and a healer. I did a bunch of online containers. I did all the things. But I just don't want anybody, this makes me feel emotional, to ever have to feel as alone as I used to feel before I had that support. You guys, like, it was so fucking dark and so hard. And even if you're not going through the trenches, even if you're not going through the hard times, like, we still have challenges every single month that come up with life. And if you're a woman, with our periods, our cycles are always teaching us stuff. And with the different astrological events every month, we have different things come up every single month. And if you're on a spiritual awakening path, if you are rebirthing into a new version, we all are right now, because we're all being called to step into the feminine energy, the new paradigm. So we're all going through massive transformations and transitions right now. And that's why I want to make this a monthly container space, because like I said, I just wish I would have had support before, when it was really hard for me. And I continuously still have support now, even though I'm not in the dark years that I was in before. Because again, like I said, the pastor said in the sermon the other day, if you try to go at whatever you're going through alone, it's going to take 10 times longer to get out of it. So if you're feeling called to join Rise from the Ashes membership, we start June 1st. I made it super easy for everybody to join, as many people as possible. It's $33 a month, or you can pay weekly. It's no extra charge to pay weekly. It's literally, I think it's $8.25 a month, or I'm sorry, a week for the payments. I'm pretty sure that equates to $33 a month. It is on my sales page, which I will include the link to that website, it's on my website, in the comments below this video. But I would just love to have you, if you're feeling led. We'll have 2 Zoom calls a month starting out. The first, well, I'll explain the first one. So the first call each month will be a call with me, where it's the astrology call. We talk about the theme, what astrology is happening that month. I will teach on briefly whatever the theme of the month is, and then we'll do some rituals to help us release the old shit and manifest the new shit and claim our power and step into our rebirth and our new versions. My bug bite is really big. And we'll dance and we'll do those things. That will be on the first call of the month. And we'll have a second call each month for the first 3 months. That's a bonus that I'm giving you guys. And that call will be with one of my soul sisters, who are also spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches that are like fucking queens and experts in rebirth and claiming your power and stepping into your feminine energy and healing and transmuting and alchemizing. And I can't fucking wait. I'm so fucking excited. All of the info for everything is on the website. I'll link that below. I love all of you so much. Let me know if you enjoyed this video today. I really want to start doing more live videos. The bug guy's back. Now he's like spraying on like protection stuff so the bugs don't get us. So that makes me just think, like, this space, Rise from the Ashes, like, the word that came to mind when I got the download to create this was a sanctuary. Like, I want this to be your safe space where you feel protected, where you can feel heard, feel supported. Like, I'm one of the like most understanding people ever. Like, you could tell me anything and I'm not going to judge you or be fazed by it, because I don't want people to fucking judge me about my struggles and my shit. And like, no one has time for that shit. I'm about to knock over all my drinks and my candle. So yeah, let me know. ADD over here, but if you know me, you're used to that. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. I feel like I didn't do as many live videos the last few years, really, because between 2021 and 2022, I had no fucking clue what I wanted to do next in my business. Last year, I worked at a yoga studio part-time for the year. Well, until this February was when I quit. But working there, I started hosting goddess circles and events. I taught an astrology workshop. I hosted a retreat, and I started realizing, like, the feminine power and the feminine energy is like really my fucking passion. And then I started learning more about like rebirth. Like, I've been through so many fucking deaths and rebirths, and everything just started to come together. And at the end of the year, I was like, okay, I feel like I know what I'm doing in business now. And when I quit my job in February at the yoga studio, I didn't realize I still had a bit more clarity, like refining to do with business stuff. And now I feel like the structure I mentioned that I received clarity on during the super new moon in Taurus last week. One of them was like structure for scheduling stuff in my business and doing live videos and all of those things. So I'm glad that I figured all that out so that I could be here and hang out with you more. And honestly, I really didn't even use Facebook for a while because I was just over the vibes. But when I did the free Death and Rebirth Masterclass last month, there were so many of you in the Facebook group interested. And I was like, I love these babes. I miss hanging out with them. I just want to be here more and hang out. So definitely look for what I've got coming next. I will keep you guys posted. I'll do the little event page like before. And I just love you so much. And know whatever you are going through, there is a divine purpose. It is happening for you, not to you. And you're exactly where you're meant to be. I love you so much, and I'll see you later. Bye, my loves. I was gonna, mwah. Oh, the lipstick didn't get on my hand. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you. I'm a crazy motherfucker. Bye.